Hi, this is Mr. Wedge. I want to talk about the artist Paul Klee. It looks like Klee, but it's pronounced Clay. Paul Klee is a very important abstract modern artist. And he had his own unique style. He produced almost 9,000 works of art in his life. But some people don't like his artwork because they think it looks childish or like he didn't know how to draw or paint. But he was very good at drawing. This is a drawing he did of his bedroom when he was about 17 years old. But he got bored drawing realistically because he felt like photographs could do that. So he came up with his own style. And in his style, the lines are crooked usually. It's very blotchy. He doesn't stay inside the lines very well when he paints, but he did all that on purpose. And he knew a lot about balance and unity and how lines and shapes should go together. So I could talk about that forever, but what I want to talk about is the way he made his paintings. For almost every painting he had a drawing that went with it. He'd do the drawing first on a piece of paper with pen and ink. He would use a quill pen and an inkwell, but I'm just going to use a Sharpie to save time. And many of his pictures were real interesting, very poetic. I'm just going to do a very simple, quick one here in ink. And if he liked it, he would turn it into a painting that would be about the same size. So for this, you're going to need linen. It's just muslin or light cotton fabric. You can get it anywhere. Mounted onto a sheet of light cardboard. He didn't work on canvas usually. He worked on this kind of surface. And the cardboard you could just cut out of a cereal box. You're going to need another piece of paper, and this will be your transfer paper. And we're going to transfer this drawing onto this surface to paint on it. And this is kind of how he would do it. Paul Klee would use black oil paint and a brush. I don't use oil paint in school, so I'm going to use a brayer and some printmaking ink. This is a brayer. And you roll the ink out, kind of just like you're painting your living room. You don't have to go right to the edge. I like to leave a white border so that I don't get ink on my fingers. But get a nice thin, even layer on the paper. So you're going to need 2 sheets of drawing paper for this. One for your drawing and one for the transfer. So there's my transfer paper. Here's my drawing. And you're going to need a stylus. This is just a section of 1/4-inch dowel that's been sharpened in the pencil sharpener. So it's like a pencil with no lead. And then take your painting surface, inked paper, and then your drawing can go right on top. And then hold it down, try not to wiggle it, but just draw right over your drawing that you did in pen and ink. And because I'm using a stylus, I'm not messing up my drawing. I'm not hurting it. So I'm just tracing over my lines. And when you're done, you still have your drawing. You haven't hurt it or messed it up. This you can throw away. It's just transfer paper. But then you'll have the image on the fabric. And if you notice, you'll see little blotches and marks. That's where my hand rested or where I held it down. And in Paul Klee's paintings, you see the same thing. So if you see a blotch in the background in Paul Klee's artwork, that's where he held it down with his hand, which is kind of neat. And then he would take some watercolor, and just go and paint it in. And because you're working on linen, it's going to kind of bleed, meaning that the paint will go outside the lines. So that kind of explains the look of his work. But this is Paul Klee's method of making artwork. So hope you enjoyed this video. Work hard, have fun.